Bonesworth. One night, a teenager walking home through a quiet street noticed something standing under a flickering streetlight. At first, it looked like a tall, thin person, but something was wrong. As he got closer, he realized the figure had no flesh at all. It was just bones, long, stretched bones held together in a shape that resembled a human, but far too tall and thin to be real. It tilted its head slowly, its hollow eye sockets locked onto him. Then it took a step forward, its limbs creaking as if they could snap at any moment. The boy ran. Behind him, he heard the sharp clacking of bones striking pavement, faster than it should be. Bonesworth is a tall, skeletal entity estimated to stand around 3 to 5 meters tall, with elongated limbs and a fragile but unnatural structure. Despite its brittle appearance, it moves with surprising speed and precision. Its hollow gaze and unnatural proportions make it deeply unsettling, especially in low light where it can remain partially hidden. To survive this creature, avoid isolated streets at night and never assume it is slow distance is your best chance of survival. Nervous Houseguest. A woman woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of something moving in her living room. Slow footsteps, careful, uneven, like someone trying not to be heard. She stayed still, listening. Then the footsteps stopped right outside her bedroom door. The handle slowly turned inch by inch. The door creaked open, revealing a tall, thin figure standing in the darkness. Its arms hung awkwardly at its sides, its posture stiff and unnatural. It didn't speak, it didn't move. It just stood there, watching. Hours passed, and it never left. The nervous houseguest is a lanky humanoid entity, estimated to stand around 2 to 3 meters tall, often appearing inside homes uninvited. Its movements are slow and hesitant, but its presence is persistent and deeply unsettling. It seems to observe rather than attack, creating prolonged psychological fear. To survive this creature, do not engage with it and avoid acknowledging its presence. Leaving the house is often the safest option. Chicken ghost. Late at night on a rural farm, a man heard frantic clucking echoing across the fields. He stepped outside and saw something moving between the coops. At first, it looked like a large bird, but as it stepped into the moonlight, he froze. It stood upright, its body twisted into a grotesque mix of human and chicken. Its neck jerked violently as it let out a distorted, echoing cry. Then it rushed forward with unnatural speed. The chicken ghost is a bizarre humanoid creature estimated to stand around 2 to 4 meters tall, with features resembling a distorted chicken fused with human anatomy. Its erratic movements and sudden bursts of speed make it unpredictable and dangerous. To survive this creature, avoid isolated farms at night and never approach strange animal sounds in the dark. Headlight Head. A driver traveling late at night noticed bright lights approaching in the distance. At first, he thought it was another car, but the lights were too high, too far apart. As they drew closer, he realized they weren't headlights. They were part of something else. A tall humanoid figure stepped onto the road, its head replaced by blinding lights that shone directly into his eyes. He couldn't see, he couldn't move. The engine stalled as the figure approached. Headlight Head is a tall humanoid entity, estimated to stand around 5 to 7 meters tall, with powerful lights embedded in its head that can blind and disorient victims. Its ability to immobilize prey through light makes it especially dangerous on roads. To survive this creature, avoid looking directly at its lights and leave the area immediately if visibility becomes distorted. Smile Room. One evening, 3 teenagers broke into an abandoned entertainment center that had been closed for years. Dust covered the floors, arcade machines stood dead in the dark, and every hallway smelled of mold and damp wood. While exploring the upper level, they found a door that should not have been there. Painted above it in faded letters were the words, "The Smile Room." One of them laughed and pushed it open. Behind the doorway was not a room, but rows of gigantic crooked teeth packed tightly together in wet, dark red gums, glistening with clear, saliva-like slime. The teeth slowly shifted, grinding against each other as if breathing. Before they could run, the doorway lurched forward. Thin, tendril-like strands reached from the gums and wrapped around the nearest boy's arm. He screamed once before being dragged into the darkness between the teeth. By the time police arrived, the room no longer existed. Only a dropped phone remained, coated in a clear, organic residue. The Smile Room is a grotesque dimensional entity created by Trevor Henderson, capable of manifesting inside any abandoned or neglected room or enclosed space. It appears as 2 massive rows of filthy, crooked teeth attached to dark red gums, covered in saliva-like fluid. Its true size is unknown, as the doorway is believed to be a wormhole leading into the mouth of an unfathomably large, nearly dead cosmic being from another reality. Anything pulled inside is instantly destroyed, and when prey escapes, it may create parasitic hosts that infect humans and transform them into extensions of itself. To survive this entity, never enter abandoned rooms that seem out of place. If you smell organic decay, hear grinding teeth, or see saliva-like residue near a doorway, leave immediately and do not touch anything nearby. The Wandering Faith. One morning, a small town woke to shadows moving across the streets despite clear skies. People stepped outside and looked up in silence. Towering above the buildings was a colossal four-legged creature slowly crossing the town, its body hidden partly within the clouds. Its neck stretched impossibly high into the sky, thinning as it rose upward beyond sight. Hanging beneath it were countless long tendrils, swaying gently in the wind. Some people ran. Others fell to their knees and began to pray. Then the tendrils lowered. They wrapped around several worshippers and lifted them screaming into the clouds until they vanished. The giant never stopped walking. The Wandering Faith, often mistakenly called Day 17, is a massive entity created by Trevor Henderson and one of the most famous members of the Giants. It is estimated to stand at least 1.5 kilometers tall, though its true height remains unknown since much of its neck disappears into the sky. It has 4 huge skeletal legs, a thick rounded body, dark wrinkled skin, and numerous tendrils hanging from its elongated neck. Unlike many giants, it is not openly hostile, appearing to seek out chosen humans to ascend into the clouds. To survive this creature, do not gather beneath it, do not worship it, and stay indoors if tendrils begin descending from above. The Wandering Doom. At sunset, people gathered along the coastline to watch strange shadows moving across the horizon. At first, many believed it was a distant mountain range hidden by fog. Then it took a step. The ocean trembled as an enormous quadrupedal figure emerged against the fading sky, walking slowly along the far shoreline. Its ribs jutted sharply through thin skin, and its long neck rose above its body like a twisted pillar, ending in a human-shaped head. With every step, buildings in the distance collapsed beneath its weight. No roar came from it, no warning. It simply kept walking as the sky turned dark. The Wandering Doom is a colossal entity created by Trevor Henderson and believed to be a member of the Giants. Larger than many others of its kind, it possesses 4 massive skeletal legs, exposed rib-like structures, pale brown skin, and a grotesquely long neck, leading to a humanoid head. Unlike collecting giants, it appears built purely for destruction, relying on overwhelming size and brute force, rather than special abilities. Entire towns and landscapes would be insignificant beneath its path. To survive this creature, evacuate coastal and open regions immediately if it is sighted. Do not wait for it to approach distance as your only chance. Remain indoors. Late at night, an emergency broadcast interrupted every channel with a simple warning. Remain indoors. No explanation, no details. Just silence after. Hours passed, and curiosity began to creep in. One man walked toward his window and slowly pulled the curtain aside. At first, he saw nothing. Then something shifted in the darkness. A tall figure stood just beyond the glass. Its long limbs stretched unnaturally, its face barely visible in the shadows. It hadn't been there before. It didn't move. It didn't need to. It was already watching. The man froze as it slowly leaned closer to the window. Remain Indoors is a mysterious entity from Trevor Henderson's universe, typically depicted as a tall, shadowy humanoid appearing just outside homes during unknown events. Its exact size varies, often estimated around 3 to 6 meters tall, with elongated limbs and a barely visible face. It does not force entry. Its threat seems tied to being seen or acknowledged. To survive this entity, follow the warning. Stay inside, keep windows covered, and never look outside once the broadcast begins.